What is going on, everyone? It is Foul Play here. Still trying to keep that Bogle dream alive here in post-modern Horizons 2. So far, not going so great. And I mean, the mulligans just really, really not helping things. So yeah, we'll go ahead and mulligan to 4, keep a pretty reasonable 4 and see what we can do. We won the die roll this game, obviously, up against Shade Scorpion. Wonder what variant of 5-color humans we're going to be versing this league. Oh, it's a discard deck? Well, that's fucking awful for us. Get ready for us to top deck Leyline of Sanctity into... Okay, maybe not. Oh, there was like a food deck someone was complaining about. Okay, well this doesn't seem very good for us. This like artifact doesn't die either. This seems awful. Well, we'll put down as much damage as we can, which is Rancor, but of course we miss on land drop, so our tempo is just gone. Just gone. Enters the battlefield. If you cast it from your hand, create 3 food tokens. Sacrifice 3 foods. Return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this only during your turn. Well, this cookbook, this food, I mean... Alright, this just seems ridiculous, Modern, at the moment. This is absurd. What the hell? Madness for 0. Yeah, that just seems a little bit, like, not even slightly balanced at all, ever. Oh, and this thing? Right. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for another one of these. Reel it, put it into your hand. Sacrifice 2 foods, deal 6 damage to itself. Target creature deals 6 damage to itself. Right. Well, that can't target us. If they start getting this big stuff back from the graveyard, we're in trouble. We literally need a race. I actually think we have a decent sideboard plan here. Alright, well, that does give us a chance. Oh, that's a spicy vigilance trample disgusting thing. What do we do here? So obviously my opponent discarded a bunch of foods to get this bad boy out. So currently we can almost kill our opponent in 2 turns, and he's got 11 damage on the battlefield, and he can pump that to 13. So we're dead to Lightning Bolt. I think we actually want to be slightly defensive here. He can't interact with our creature well. I think his deck's done most of what it can. Oh, so this thing gives you the cookbook. Right. If... these foods can gain life, actually, so taking the defensive is definitely a smart idea. Opponent's discarding a lot of land, and a hollowed one enters. Like, pretty okay with him attacking here. He doesn't attack. Alright, let's top deck well, maybe. Vigilance would be, you know, obviously pretty OP. Okay, well, we literally drew our best card. We'll take it. And yeah, that's surely got to be the match 1. He can't even block our creature because of the flying. And even if he did, even if he could, we still have first strike trample. Still have that vigilance. Alright, so we'll have to see if their deck does anything else busted other than this. If there's some way it just randomly goes off and wins. He's looking to gain some life off his food. Is Phoenix in this deck or not? Opponent concedes. Alright, so we get the win. So I tried to have a quick Google and couldn't quite find my opponent's list. I'm going to go out on a limb and say all this artifact and graveyard hate is going to be good here. Hopefully they don't have discard. I'm going to be taking out my ley lines, so fingers crossed we don't get punished. We'll take out the spirit mantle as well just to be mana efficient. Alright, so having a slightly more thorough look. Looks like it's a Rakdos build. There was a video by Marion Moon. If we keep this hand, it has like the pro of we don't lose our creature to turn 1 discard, but obviously it's going to be a very vulnerable creature at the same time. So opponent doesn't look to lead on black, which I guess I'll take. Oh, he made us discard our Bogle, and he discards fucking 2 giant trolls. Ah, that's a little bit scary. We still have totem armor as well. Find the cartouche. All right, let's just lead out on the Dryad Arbor. Maybe it's a bit silly. I just don't want it to get discarded to another one of these effects, right? Could just be way too greedy though. All right, opponent missed a land drop. We might actually be in with a shot here. So let's Spider Umbra. And then I'll go ahead and Cartouche of Solidarity, I think. So we get extra creatures on the board. There is the 2 mana red black spell that makes a player suck an enchantment. Something Rampage. So I think it's Amonkhet block. Alright, opponent goes ahead and gets a little Blazing Rottweiler. Gets their food token as well. I mean, this seems like a pretty straightforward block to me, but again, it's bad if my opponent has a sacrifice effect. So maybe we just ignore the Blazing Rottweiler and just look to make a giant creature and go crazy. He's got this one. So he can sack 2 foods. Target creature deals 6 damage to itself. But with Totem Armor, we'll get to negate that. It's just like, you know, future actives of this might be a bit hard to deal with. I'm gonna do the best I can, though. Oof. That's a big draw. Alright, I think we pivot onto our hexproof creature, but I'm going to do it in a little bit of a roundabout way. I'm going to put Rancor down on this Dryad Arbor. If my opponent wants to go through all the trouble of removing everything, they can. We're still going to get the Rancor down. Still going to get to attack for some damage. Then we can play the Scout. And if he looks to kill the Dryad Arbor again, obviously we can just switch all our auras across. And if we're to Ethereal Army here, we're still dead to like another active. This creature seems very obnoxious. I'm quite happy trading the warrior token in this spot. If my opponent is still land screwed, that's really good for us. Alright, so it looks like they can effectively kill our Dryad Arbor this turn. Now that's a draw. Alright, this seems completely unnecessary, but sure. I get to gain 3 life on discarding this weird fucking battered cow. And they go for the damage on the scout. They nerf our damage here. Three cards in hand for my opponent now. I'm gonna just go ahead and cycle this canopy, make my mind up on what I want to do. Okay, wonderful. That makes this matchup a lot easier, I'm sure. Having a 4 power vigilance first striker, really good. Opponent's still discarding more nonsense and getting more shit for free. It might be bad losing the Force of Vigor, but I think it's worth it to shut down everything they're doing. This card seems unreasonable because it doesn't cost any mana to activate and it enters untapped. Seems a little bit good. How do you even pronounce this, by the way? This is an absolute monstrosity of a card name. I'll take it. All right, well, that's a really good draw. Instantly neonate. Okay, well, I mean, this deck doesn't seem so scary for hexproof. Just keep on attacking in. Opponent will eventually run out of chump blockers. You can stop us from gaining life here with the instant neonate. Which is like a little bit annoying, but I think it's just... Oh, they've got Venge Vines. Okay, well, their deck obviously makes a fair bit more sense on the back of Venge Vine. But it's just going to continue with these neonates, not being able to discard anything for free. All right. So Seal of Primordium does buff from the Ethereal Armor. I don't really think it does anything playing it pre or post combat. He's just going to instant neonate chump. Either way. And we can play around our opponent like shooting their own creature by sacrificing foods, by destroying a food with the Seal of Primordium, right? Cycle Street Wraith, Desperate Territory. Cycles another Street Wraith. Let's destroy the food token. That way we just gain an unreasonable amount of life here, and that should be enough to help lock it up for us. I guess we'll play the coronet. It's like less damage and life gained, but kind of like having it on the board. It's slightly better if our opponent looks to rebuild. Like, it's slightly better if we somehow sack a creature and have to rebuild onto a new one, but hopefully that's not the case. I've not seen any discard. Opponent concedes. Alright, we're just too big, we're too fat, they're just bricking. Well, it feels nice to be on the other end of the whole brick scenario. Guess I'll just quickly pull up sort of the deck here. So video by obviously Mary Moon, Ractus Hollow Food with however you say that. I'm sure you can do a quick YouTube search and find this if you want more information on the deck. But obviously, oh, this is a different one. Never mind. This is completely different to what that particular opponent was doing, because that opponent had the lizards. This looks potentially better with Flameblade Adept. Alright, well, in any case, I think we got a little bit lucky there, and yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.